Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and today I'm going to show you guys how I would make a small sign for your tabletop war game or your TTRPG. So this is going to be like a multi-directional kind of where you go and sign on the highway. So I'm just going to get this popsicle stick first, and even though this is a little thick for what I wanted, you could do this in cardstock or anything really. I'm just going to snip off a couple pieces of it. You know what, that's a little bit big. It'll work. So I just want to have two signs on here. One of them is going to be a pointing arrow going one way, and the other is a pointing arrow going the other way. Just want to get kind of a rough shape going. You don't want them to be the exact same length. Alright, now you want to get like a craft knife or something like this or something like this. You just kind of want to make it look a little beat up and not brand new. Doesn't really matter about the back side as much, but you want the front side to be something looking a little beat up. Now you can get something sharp and metal. If you don't have the same exact things I use, that's fine. Just something sharp and metal will do it. And you want to make some of the ridiculous wood grain textures that don't ever really exist but look good in cartoons, because for some reason on the table that stuff looks okay. And wood already has its own texture, but if you're using cardstock, you know, or whatever you're using, you know, you can go other directions with this. A little bit of a wire brush move here. Just maybe, if your wood's soft enough, it'll catch some of that texture. And then I'm going to use this magic secret tool I have in my pocket. I'm getting a little bit of loose fuzzes and give something else to it. Because there's going to be a little bit of loose wood fuzz, maybe, or whatever you're working with. If you're using foam, don't use this tool. If you're using cardstock, this is probably not the tool for you. Alright, so we have this stick, and it's actually in pretty good shape for what we want. So let's snip it to a good height. Well, we want both our signs to sit on it. Let's just get a little dab of hot glue and work that onto there. So for me, I'm going to put the smaller sign on the top of mine and the larger sign on the bottom, facing the other way. Something like that. And then I'm just getting this little bit of glue here. Just adding a little bit of strength. The back's not the most important part, you know. But a little bit of strength goes a long way on these things. Alright, so if you can use anything for a base, a piece of foam or whatever, you could push it into anything. But for me, since I didn't prepare like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of sand, or a couple of rocks maybe. I'm going to get a couple of rocks. And I'm going to get my tweezers out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this extra piece from the modular roads I made. And I just have like some of this laying over here. I break up in different shapes and sizes and stuff. So I'm going to get this piece of modular road. And I'm going to get some hot glue. I'm going to make a little circle. And then I'm going to get, I'm left-handed, so let me do it this way. I'm going to stick that in there at a pretty straight up and down angle. And then I'm going to get some of these little rocks and shove these into it, into the glue, and drop them onto the glue. Get them good and stuck to cover up my glob of glue. And any glue that's showing may or may not just look like additional little rock pieces. Not super concerned how small is this craft, you know what I mean? How much are people going to get in here and look? So I got my little rocks on there. And it looks something like this. It's not too bad. If you have any little wispies, you can use that secret tool I showed you a minute ago. Just kind of clean that up. Something like that. So now it's pretty solid at this point. We can kind of do what we want with it. So let's start by painting it brown. Let's get a dark brown here. This is just burnt umber craft paint, apple barrel or Applebee's from whatever that store's called, Walmart. So I'm just going to get this and I'm going to paint it with a cheap, shitty brush. Excuse my French, a crappy brush. Now, if you were a real pro, you would dig into your bin where you have pre-stained wood already, pre-weathered and stained wood already, which I guess I technically could have done. But then you wouldn't learn nothing unless you had watched me make a video of how I beat up wood and stain it. You don't want to watch that because that's not fun. Though I did have someone ask me to show how I make my wash, which I don't use very often anymore. I used to use it a lot. I use it on terrain some, but I don't really use it on minis anymore. I just use like Strong Tones by Army Painter and stuff now. But it did make me wonder if maybe I should make an effort to teach people some of the beginner and basic stuff I used to do. That I'm sure like a lot of that stuff's available on the internet, and I hate to beat a dead horse. But if anybody's interested in learning any techniques, pardon me, leave a note in the comments or hit me up on Discord, and we can talk about making some videos to teach any of the older stuff that I don't do, older stuff that I haven't done for quite a while. If there's any spots you don't like on that base, since it's just chunks of rock and sand and paint pretty much, you can hit those with that. Now I'm going to get this, my favorite color on earth here, Pavement. Same paint line, same store. I'm going to get a cheapy brush, and I'm going to hit these rocks with this darker gray. And you don't have to cover them perfectly, but you want to cover them. And any of that brown that you got down around there, just mix it in. Make it a bright grayish brown. It's not a biggie. This is all about just making something cheap and nice for your table that's quick. This is not about looking like a pro. All right, let's get that put away. Get a lighter shade of gray. And a little piece of cardboard. Something with the corrugations would be perfect. Now, quickly take this and hit it with your hairdryer. Make sure it's still sturdy. Don't want to heat it up too much and melt your glue. And then you're just going to get this cheap brush again. You're going to wipe off a lot of that gray. Get it a shade lighter. And wipe a lot of it off. And then you're just going to hit those rocks again. Don't cover them all the way, just hit them in part. Nice, just like that. Then we're going to get one shade of lighter gray. We're going to do the same thing. Get a little dab. Oh, that's really light. We're going to get a dab of that, and we're going to mix it with that and get a lighter color. And wipe a lot of it off. And then we're just going to touch the highest sticking out parts of those rocks. Just just lightly and easily. Just try to get it looking, you know, a little more natural. And if you have some of that brown mixed in there, that's good. If you don't, that's fine too. I lucked out and my brown was in there and it looks decent. Yours might not. Everybody's going to paint different and get different results. And how good do we want a road sign to look? Do we want this to look like we're taking it to a competition, or do we want it to look like a road sign for our game, right? So there's our rocks. Pretty good. Our dirt's a little dark on the ground. We can lighten that up if we want to. That's too easy. Put my paint away so I don't leave colors out, because I'm guilty of doing that too much. Oh, my wipe rag's gone. Something just fell. Oh no! Yeah, it's just a miniature. Alright. So we have this, is really dark brown. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to get something lighter. Got this melted chocolate here. That should do it. That should do the trick nicely. You want to get a cheapy brush. You want to wipe a lot of that off, and you want to come up here and just kind of get that coat in paint. You don't want to hit every single spot, I promise you that, but you do want to hit a good bit of it. You want to hit the pole and the back sides. There we go. Something like that, just lighten it up a little bit. And we want to get a shade lighter. I don't know if this is lighter or not. Let's look. It's called Chocolate Bar. No, it's more of a red. Alright, we try again. Still working here. This is called Territorial Beige. We're going to get this. This is lighter. We're going to mix it with that a little bit. What's left there. We're going to spread it around a little more. Lighten it up a little more. Less effort this time. Less coverage this time. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of get it around there. And then we're going to lighten it up with that again one more time. This time we're going to mix it over here. Wipe a lot of that off. Maybe flip this over and make sure we get all that. Okay. It's closer to a dry brush at that point, and let's just kind of lighten this up again. And then we want to get like a tan. So let's get something really light that we can mix with that. This is khaki. This is a pretty good tan. Lighten that up a good bit. Grab another piece of cardboard. Get a lot of that off there. Oh, there goes my hairdryer. There we go. Then we just want to lighten that up one more shot with more of a true dry brush, catching only the highest areas. Focusing on the tops of the signs where light catches really well. Just brush the side post. Get the top lightened up. Just kind of hit it all. This is not super crucial that we're doing a great job here. But we do want to catch it coming down as much as we can with the light, because that makes, for some reason, more realistic terrain. And we have a little bit of a sign here. It's not bad looking. I really like to lighten it up some more, but is it really worth the effort at this point? All right, we're almost 15 minutes in, so let's get that put away. Throw that brush down. Get rid of the cardboard. Set it off to the side. Rinse out that little brush we were using. Let's make some signs, or make some letters. So the natural choice would be an off-white. So what I have here is called antique parchment. And we want to do a really fine brush job on this. So if you have something small, a junk brush that's small, that'll be good. So we're going to make it this way to, we're just going to put Berg. And perfect coverage is not going to be your savior here. Letting some of your paint run out and getting different qualities of letters is equally fine. And we're going to go to, let's see, Berg, and where can we go? I don't know. Just make up a name. Atten. With circles, what I like to do is go one way and then go the other way. All right. If you're happy with that, you can stop there. But I'd like to lighten up this dirt. Alright, so I need a crappy brush to lighten up my dirt with. We got lots of them. I just need some brown and some gray. So we're going to grab that same melted chocolate we had. Oh, this is the wrong thing. The same melted chocolate we had earlier that we used to lighten up the sign. There we go. That, yep, that's right. Well, I forgot, I said this before, but I paint the colors on the top so I can look at them when they're dry. Get a little dab of that. We're going to get a little dab of light gray. This is elephant gray, and it's a little wet. Someone may or may not have added too much distilled water to that. So we're going to get this and this, and we're going to work to a realistic tone. It's not too light. There we go, something like that maybe. Then we're going to wipe a lot of this off. We're just going to come catch some of the top of the ground here. And just lighten that up. Give it a new texture, a new surface. Make some of that real sand, dirt, and stuff that we mixed to make this modular road. Just make that pop. If you hit your rocks a little bit, that's okay. No one will notice but you. Then we're going to lighten that up again with just a little bit more gray. Got an ugly gray-brown going here. We're going to wipe most of that off, and then we're just going to come by and catch some of the spots we want to highlight. For me, man, I just want to highlight it all. I like the way that looks. All right. So we're looking pretty snazz here. Let's get a cheap brush and some of our clear glue. Boop. Boop. Here we go. All right, so this is just clear glue, regular, boring clear glue. And we're just going to spread that around in spots where we really want to have some flock. And you can use whatever flock you like. I'm going to use some of my homemade flock on this. I don't know which one yet, probably which one I find first. Which it looks to me like today it's going to be green, medium green. We're going to get that flock. Get that base covered good. Get that down. And let's get some kind of plant on here. We got, what's this? This is like Spanish moss or something. It's floral moss maybe. Let's get some floral moss. Now, the secret to floral moss is almost exclusively using super glue, but I have an idea today of what I want to try. and it is not super glue. So what I want to do is directly on my mat, I'm going to make a dab of this. And I'm going to get this in there and create a base for my bush. Okay? To kind of like hold it together with hot glue and then try to glue it on. I want to try this. It's different than what I normally do. I just want to try it. So we're going to let that sit for a moment. You can pull off any of the excess crap you don't want. And I'm going to pry that up when I'm sure it's dry, which I'm still not sure it's dry. There we go. So it did not work exactly how I had hoped, but it did something. It did create some kind of structure for a bush. Maybe I'll tweak that down the road some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spot over here. I'm going to get the last of that glue. And I'm going to drop it on there and let that kind of hold it in place. Now, that's not going to dry super fast as I think about it, but I know it will. Our old friend Stupid Glue. Whoops, knocked over my glue gun. Our old friend Stupid Glue will do the job. So push it on, dab it in, let it soak in there, give that bush some yaw. Now, as that's drying, you can get an old toothpick or a piece of whatever you got laying around, an old back of a paintbrush maybe, and just kind of push it into the shape you want as it starts to dry. All right. So now we have something like this. It's colorful, it's nice, and it captures what we want. You know what else we could do while we're at it? Heck with it. Let me get that off here. Y'all know how to make a mushroom? You'll like this. It's best if you have a tin pan or something. Let me see what I got. Alright. Get your pan. But we'll make 2 mushrooms. Get a little dab of glue. Doesn't matter how big it is. Now, this I do know. I did not invent this. I learned this from a dude named Bardcraft. He showed me this. I used to make my mushrooms with foam, and they were stupid. He showed me the way. This is the way. So you get those. You let those cool down. Touch them a little bit. See, I pulled some up. We don't want to do that. That's not what we wanted. We'll have to snip that off. But we want to let this cool. Man, it's so hot in here, they're not even curing. Let those cool down until they turn where you can handle them. They'll turn white, you know. Let's snip off that little bit of where I had to touch it. We'll snip that off. Okay. Now, they're looking pretty solid. Then you need like a twig or a stick or a skewer or whatever you got. I'm digging for a one of those poker things. Toothpick. Ow, I just stabbed myself with a toothpick. So you want to pop this off. Like that. Get the flat side of it. Shove your toothpick in there. Okay. You don't want to go all the way through. You just want to shove it through a little bit. And you want to leave that on there for now while we paint this. Okay. And see how mine has a little weird spot I don't like. We're going to snip that off. And if you really, really want to do something fancy and you want to make sure this stays, just touch your glue gun on there, get it hot, and then stick it through. And that will give you a much better hold. So I have made all kind of a mess over here. Handy dandy fancy tool. There you go. One. Let's get this one. Get this one. Drill that in there just a little bit. Hit it with my fancy tool. There we go. Smooth up the sides and all. Alright, now. Uh-oh. It's crooked. I have made an error. Give me a second to fix that. Ow, I'm burning myself. Okay. Take 2. Let's try it again. Let's get these mushrooms done. Alright. So let that sit for a minute. And this one's dry and hard. So we're going to work on this one, okay? So we're just going to get an off-white, which that antique parchment I used earlier could be perfect for this. We're going to get a cheapy brush, an off-white. We're going to paint the stem and the underneath white. Just like that. And you can overpaint the bottom of it a little bit. It's going to be alright. Because you're going to snip that off. Now, just for base coating purposes, hit the top part. And then let this dry. Now we're going to be doing the other side too with a similar thing. So we're going to set this down. That's not quite ready yet. So we're going to look at that. We can start painting that with a red or any color we want in a moment, but we're not yet. We're going to let that dry and let this solidify. Okay. Here we go. Drill. I lost it. It's gone. You gotta be kidding me. It must have bounced 100 miles. It's not meant to be. Yep. I can't find it. Alright, it's gone. New plan. Take 3. Okay. Now that's ridiculously big. That's okay. We'll save that for some other project. We'll make another one right here that's little. Alright, so that mushroom's pretty dry right now. We can hit that with another base coat of that white just to kind of make sure that paint's sticking to it good. Here we go. And that's not dry yet. Alright, while we're waiting for that, let's get a reddish color. This is called Barn Red. Let's get a different small crap brush that we can use real quick and hit this up. Just get the top. Doesn't have to be perfect either. You might want to drag it around the sides. Alright. Then get your original brush. Your tiniest one you can, and just do little dots. I don't know why I almost dipped that onto my metal pan. Boop, 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 boop. Something like that. Mushroom number 1 is done and ready. Now we got to do mushroom number 2. So let's get our mushroom. Make sure it's good and dry. Drive that in there. Go. Same thing. Get our white. Paint the stem bigger than we want it to be. Shorter, taller than we want it to be. Base coat this thing a little bit with this white. There we go. Now we don't want to use that same color for the other mushroom, do we? No, let's use a different color. Alright, let's set that down. Let's get this and put this away. Well, that white's kind of drying up a little bit. Get this nice orange color. Man, I can't get her open. Let's set the mushroom down. Okay, I'll get some orange here. Get that brush. Same red one's fine, doesn't matter too much. Oh, wait, that's still a little wet. Hit it with a hairdryer. It's nice to have a hairdryer with like a loop on it like mine, because you can hang it. Like I have a hook on the edge of my workbench where I just kind of dangle it. Okay, so our white's underneath, orange on top. Let's drop that brush down. Let's get our white and just do some little dots. That was off camera, sorry guys. And just some little dots. Throw it in the water. Alright. Save that for later. Oh, I'll put you over here on the shelf. There you go. Alright, cool, sweet. All right, we got our sign. Our paint's settling. Let's give that a second and put our paint away here. Put the white away. All right, this was meant to be a quick craft. We got it way over time budget here. All right, so that's not quite dry. We'll hit that with a hair dryer and make sure it sets. Okay, now for these, you just want to snip off whatever part you don't want to use. Okay, and I just lost the other mushroom because I didn't cup it in my hand well, and it might be gone forever. Yep, it's not looking good. I'm halfway across the room and I can't see it. All right, well, there we go. Back down to one mushroom. No matter how it be a boogie. So we're going to get that super glue. We're going to get that mushroom, or dab it here. There we go. And get that mushroom. We're going to dip it in that super glue. Just that little wooden bottom, let it soak up some of it. Then come back here. Oops. Of course I dropped it now. Why wouldn't I? Try it again. Get some of that super glue. Stick it back here with that bush. Oh, come on, son. All right, let's try it this way. Having problems here. Technical difficulties, if you will. Nothing we can't work out. All right, super glue. Stupid mushroom. Flipped upside down. Super glue. Wet, juicy super glue. Get it on your base. Don't drop it like a dumbass. There we go. All right, let's hold it there for a minute. There we go. That'll keep. Something like that. All right, so that's what we have now. I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to clear coat it, take it upstairs, put it on a table. Let's take a shot of it. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to kill yourself on these. I would have liked to have the other mushroom, but it did go flying, and I'm not going to go hunting for it in my garage. It's probably over there by my spray booth. I saw it go zooming by me. So that's what you got. Thanks for watching. If you like what we do here, like and subscribe. Watch me make terrible mistakes and just throw shit all over my house. Check out the description. There's a link there to our Discord and to our website, www.dungeon-swag.com. We sell amazing miniatures. They come in the form of a loot crate, or there's one-offs you can buy. So until then, thanks for watching.